today. I want to thank my brother Chon, my brother Lorenzo, and Lynette for inviting me to be the guest speaker. I don't like to be guest speaker at events. I'm usually the MC. But Chon asked me to be the guest speaker for this event, and so I decided to do it. I also want to really thank the Minnesota guys. They came a long way. And what it showed is commitment to a cause.
Give it up.
And we're proud of you. I told you, your coach. No, he's not the best coach in the world, but he's your coach anyway. That I don't know about the rest of the folks here, but for me and my two sons and my wife, whatever you have in Minnesota, we're going to be there to support you. Like I said, we're going to be there, but there's good news and bad news. The good news, obviously, that we're going to be there. The bad news, we'll be here again. I want to talk about a theme about using basketball to build lives and character. I coach my kids from the time they were in kindergarten up to the time they got to 12th grade. I had the privilege to coach them in soccer and basketball. And Eric's team and Till's team never lost a soccer game or a basketball game from 8th grade, from kindergarten to 8th grade. No, it was because of that mom yelling from the stand. I'm sure you heard it today, right?
Yeah.
And many times, parents, refs, strangers would try to find out what was our secret to why our kids were successful. And they remained successful when they went into high school, because I continued to coach them in AAU basketball. And there were a few things that I had learned along the way from other coaches. One was great John Wooden, who Charlie know had coached UCLA to many championships. And what I learned from him was what I tried to instill in my kids. And it's what I tried to instill in the folks that I engaged in Liberia in my legal profession. And I'll try to instill that in you as most of us go on for the rest of our lives. And Joe Wooden told his players on the first day of practice, don't ever mistake activity for progress. And I tell our people back home, we move around a lot. Tell the kids on the court, you see them moving around, you're running back and forth, and you make no progress. You haven't scored 1 point.
Yeah.
You haven't stopped one player. You haven't made one pass, but you sweating more than everybody else on the court. Activity. Progress.
No progress.
That's my only political point for tonight. And y'all Minnesota people, y'all can't hear a political message, you'll be disappointed again. Because we've got to make progress in everything that we do. And that's what this organization has done from the first day it started. It was meetings on the phone. During the COVID times, it was calling each other, Zoom meetings, WebEx, WhatsApp meetings, phone maintenance to the point today they built a court. They bought a scoreboard. They're talking about building another court. And at some point, somebody has to play on this court. And if that person, that child, is playing basketball on that court, he's not in the street of Monrovia begging. He's not on the streets of Monrovia stealing. He's not on the streets of Monrovia doing drugs. He's doing something positive, making progress. And that's what basketball would do. All sports, but we have to talk about basketball. Also, what I like about this organization, as most of you know, Great Ball Players was actually a team. But what I think these guys have done with this organization, the Great Ball Players team has brought together all the great ball players of Liberia. Charles Walls will play for a girls team called IE. How does you know about biography? But we still consider him a great ball player. So the organization
USA
has done a great job of bringing together all the great ball players of Liberia. I've even told Joan and some of the other members, we need a Hall of Fame. We need a basketball Hall of Fame for the McCreadys, for the Herbert Crispies, for the G. Alvin Yusuf, the second best, greatest high school coach next to Herbert Crispy. We need a Hall of Fame in Liberia for our ball players. And I know this organization is going to do it one day. Not for them, not for people like us, man. We lived through it. We saw these people play at YMCA in their forward sneakers, falling apart. We saw them play at ACS gym. We saw them play at Sports Commission. We had to do it for people like my sons. We never got an opportunity to see them play. Who want to know the history of our people through basketball and what impact these people had on our lives. I get up every day, as my son says, and I go to battle with Jewish lawyers, Arab lawyers, judges, and now one day, he's been to court with his dad. Have I backed down for any one of them? Because of people like that, who made me who I am today. Provide people confidence. And they know when I stand, I'm 5'7", but I'm on their shoulders, so I'm 6'10". And they know when I speak for them. I speak through them. So, my brothers and sisters, as I said with my name, as I was doing some research for this message, there were about 9 things that John Wooden talked about basketball, and how it impacts the lives of all of us. And the first thing that came up, discipline. And you can see it's already lacking the Minnesota table, but it's talking while I'm talking. Y'all see why the laws are there, right? Discipline. I used to represent parents in child in need of assistance cases. And I had a white lady who son disrespected her at home. And we were in court, and the judge was trying to take this kid away from his mother because she beat the shit out of him. And the judge was telling her how abusive she was as a parent. Because little Johnny cussed his mom out. And she said, you should have put him in timeout and talked to him. And so while the judge was talking to his mom, little Johnny put his feet on the table in the courtroom.
Wow.
And the judge asked him to move his feet off the table. And little Johnny said, no. As a matter of fact, at 13 years old, he said, hell no. And the judge calls the sheriff to put handcuffs on little Johnny. And I said, Your Honor, may I be heard before you handcuff little Johnny? I said, you met this young man for the last 30 minutes. He's been with his mother for 13 years. And in 30 minutes, you, a stranger, are trying to discipline this kid. But you want to stop his mother, who's had it for 13 years, from disciplining him. Is that fair?
No.
Raising kids without discipline is like raising animals. And even horses have to be disciplined. Even cows have to be disciplined. So if we take discipline out of raising our children, like we see in Liberia today, if you've been there, the trainer will tell you, Papi, if you talk about history, I will take my respect for you.
Wow.
I usually tell them that you never respected me in the first place. Discipline must be instilled. That's why there's discipline in the military. That's why there's discipline in the police department. That's why there's discipline in the church. The only place in this country that wants discipline is in the schools.
Amen.
Because they know if our boys and girls are disciplined, they have a chance to make it. And maybe they don't want them to make it. I don't know. Because like I said, I'm not making a political speech. The second thing Coach Wooden talked about, teamwork. You got to move the ball around. And not for your one. Tell the people in Liberia, hey minister, shake the tree. Let's not drop. That $1,000 that Lebanese man gave you, it's not for you alone. You got deputy minister, assistant minister, all the people down the line to the janitor. Take 500. Take the other 500, shake the tree. Those same people will look out for you every day. Takes teamwork. Move the ball around. Share. And it will make a difference in your life. Set out roles, and responsibilities for your players. Whether you're a manager, whether you're a school principal like Charlie was, all of you, whether you're a reverend, there must be roles. You got a chairman on the digger board, right, Reverend? He can't try to be the Reverend. And the Reverend certainly can try to be the chairman of the digger board. In our church, we're Anglicans, we have a vestry. The head of the vestry, who is a senior warden, cannot be the pastor of the church. Everybody has a role. In sports, you got a point guard, you got a shooting guard, you got a power forward, you got a center, you got a small forward, you got a coach. Everybody has a role to play. And it's the same thing in life. And that's what Coach Wooden talked about. You must set goals. Have something to achieve. So when the game starts, the number one goal is to win. But in the process of winning, you must do the little things. In sports, as Charlotte know, we call them fundamentals. It's the same thing in life. You can't go to work at 8:30, go on a coffee break at 8:45, in the bathroom at 8:55. Amen. You must have structure. You must have fundamentals. Every day is something you have to do to move the ball forward, to move your work forward, to move your life forward. The next thing he talked about, resilience. And sometimes, as you know, Red, you're just down and out in life. You not try everything. Tune out work at McDonald's, they will pay $3.35. Burger King said we'll pay you $4. He left. Went to Burger King. UPS bought, damn, P, we'll give you $6. They didn't know UPS will put you in the truck. You got to be thrown in the box. They didn't tell you that.
No.
Resilience. You know that at some point in life, you want to be where you have decided you're going to be. Whether you want to be a millionaire, like Pierre Kesseley. Or whether you want to be a doctor, or whether you want to be a pastor, whatever it is, you know what your goal is. But along the way, there are going to be trials and tribulations, and you have to be resilient. It's the same thing in sports. There's 4 quarters in a basketball game, and maybe in the 3rd quarter, things look bad, things look bleak. Like when the New York Knicks against Boston, they were down by 20. But they were resilient, and they kept playing. Kept scoring and kept stopping. You see it all the time in sports. Many years ago, I think New England was down by what, 30 against Atlanta or something like that,
Right.
and came back and won the Super Bowl. You have to be resilient in life. The next thing he talked about now, I know those are young who were there today. When I say this, when they say, what kind of you're a hypocrite? You're a hypocrite. This next thing is called sportsmanship. Right? I need prayers over. Sportsmanship. That means, basically, you must win with dignity, but more importantly, you must lose with dignity. Regardless of where you end up in life, you must keep your head high. Respect others. And show gratitude to your teammates. To your opposing team. But I remember a song though, to you by Kenny Rogers. Sometimes you gotta fall, and sometimes you gotta fight.
Yeah.
And I apologize today I had to fight.
Yeah. Justification. Justification.
The next one is very important. Communication. And I know where you talk to husband and wife a lot about this. You see a lot of times for those of you who don't play sports, especially basketball, you see the players talking to each other on the floor. There's a pick coming. Switch. Box out. Watch your man. A lot of times, you see players communicating. Whether you're with Apple, Microsoft, social services of Philadelphia or Pennsylvania, state government, wherever you are, you're working with other people on your team. And if you come into the office every day, frowning your face, putting your lipstick on, and you won't talk to nobody in the office, chances are you won't be there too long. You've got to communicate. You've got to let them know what's going on with your work, what's going on with your team, and sometimes what's going on in your life. Yeah. And the same thing goes for us that are married. You got to talk. Same thing goes for siblings. You've got to talk. Same thing goes with girlfriends and boyfriends. You've got to communicate. The eighth thing that Coach talked about is time management. We had a coach for North Carolina called Dean Smith. And Dean Smith was famous for working the clock down the stretch. Dean Smith could turn a 2-minute basketball clock into 2.5 hours of basketball time. Time management. You know, when you go home, I know most of you have been home, and I know it amazes you, but our colleagues, especially those that left here and went home and got jobs. And the first time you reach home, you're excited. You call your man. Bien! They're naked. Oh, Nick! So he said, oh, Nick, the other phone rings. Hold on. Hey, Emma! So he said, Emma, the third phone rings. You got 3 phones. I get to prove Bien. But Bien knows what I'm talking about. When he comes back to you, he says, my man, I'm in town. When can we get together? Okay, then, 5 o'clock on Friday, we'll meet, yeah? Okay. 5 o'clock comes, you sit down waiting for you, man. 5:30 comes, you're waiting for you, man. 6 o'clock, so I just say it's been an hour now. So you call, no answer. You get up and leave. About 8 o'clock, you get a call. My man, where you at? Where I at? At home. My man, yeah. It's 8 o'clock. What's going to meet at 5? Hey, my man, you know, the president called. There was a meeting with the minister of public works, Joe Blow. Why you never scheduled? Why these meetings are not planned? This is a country of 5 million people. 5 million. Now what they say? I think we're more than 2.5. What the hell? 5 million. And we can't get them to manage their time. From 8 o'clock to 6 o'clock. That if I'm meeting with a child at 8 to 9, I gave myself a ball like you do here. 30 minutes, so the next week will be mine. Still like that. And that's it, for example, if you want the example in life. That you can meet Charlie at 10. Call Charlie at 9:30. Give him the courtesy that we can't meet. So time management is important. And the last one is the ability for conflict resolution. How do you resolve conflicts in our society? How do we resolve conflicts on a basketball court? How do we resolve conflicts in our families? If You are like me and most Liberian men and most African men. We're always right. But I'll tell you, like this lady told my sisters one day at Thanksgiving, and they were complaining about men and their husbands and boyfriends, and we don't listen, and we're always right. We don't want to follow what our wives are telling us, and they wanted to rebel. And she said, listen, my children, I've been married for 50-something years. And my husband tells me he is the king of the castle. He walks around all day as the king of the castle. I don't bother him. I bow down to him. I cherish him. And I suggest, if you want to be married 50-something years, like I have been, that you let him be the king of the castle. But I can guarantee you, by Saturday morning, he coming to you, she got with my crown. I came last night and I put my crown right here. I can't find it. Where's my crown? Everything in the home, including the upbringing of the children, including how you spend your money, including what you wear, including how you think, even when you don't know how you think. A good wife controls it. Yeah. A good mother controls it. That's the point she was trying to make to my sisters. Standing up and challenging your husband, I can't even remember where you put your crown, isn't going to get you nowhere. He's just going to talk and fuss and say a whole lot of foolishness and get up in the morning and cannot remember what he said. So the best conflict resolution for families is to understand, like my mother, like your mother, like our wives and girlfriends and sisters, they make 90% of the decisions in our lives. 90%. And like the lady told the girls, the conflict comes in, the divorces come in, the breakups come in. When you're trying to get in that man last 10% that he got to control.
Wow.
What that is his remote control. What that is, he gonna drink a little bit liquor with his boys. What do you want, wash your kid? Yeah. They won't jump in that one too. No. That was their first step.
Yeah, that happened.
Stick to your 90%. And a lot of the family conflicts, according to her, not me, a lot of the family conflicts will be resolved. So my brothers and sisters, so I close. I was told by my darling, loving sister that leave Minnesota. Let her talk. As a matter of fact, let her talk more. Everyone in Minnesota, leave. Yeah. You're not up here. I will be standing on the chair talking while I talk. Here, Trump. Why are you talking about Trump? coming to Minnesota. The laws I will bring while you're talking yourself be shot. I will bring a home. The thing I told you, a home will be blown while you're talking. Ain't no planet to my point in Minnesota, right? My whole family coming. And I will tell them, the people honor me to be their guest speaker. And while I was talking, these boys from Minnesota were making noise. So, of course, you're not going to make noise to that other event. We're coming for you. As I was saying, in closing, my sister Lynette informed me that show off being Cassidy last year donated. I know you're not coming back. Oh, yes, I look at the poor baby. No more, you're not the poor baby. Show off being Cassidy last year, right in there, actually donated $2,500 to this organization. But being able to tell you, and somebody asked, what being being part or minister into administration with the book, I'll pay on time.
Yep.
Being money goes way back to the 70s. And two things he's done well in life. He married a rich woman.
Woo!
So, Lynette, said I man, Dad gave you $2,500. I gave you $2,501.
plus
Yes. You see the plan.
yeah. Beyonce, what's the real man? Beyonce, what's the real man?
Y'all been to the auction? We haven't been to the auction. And you go $1 a bottle and another one, you been to the auction?
No. We built it court.
Look at it.
Let me see.
My sister Billy not happy, she's not happy. Yeah.
Y'all see it now. I can tell you the good part about this story.
Oh, wait.
I can tell you the best part. Because I'm nationalistic, I went home in December and I stayed until April. Because I'm nationalistic, it will be like $100.
Oh, hell no. We raise our money in America. We raise money in
But
America.
the court is being built in Liberia.
No, raise money in America.
The court is being built in Liberia.
Oh, raise
I
money in
said,
America.
why you say like $100, man? Nationalism.
Wait, America be Yahweh.
So my dear family, this has been fun.
Beyonce, you made shit, man.
As Eric said, my wife and I wanted to make sure that at least this event we share it with our children.
Right. Next experience.
That's how important great ball players and what you were trying to do in Liberia means to us. We will continue, Ben and I'm sure, financially, as best as we can, to contribute to this project, to make sure it is completed.
Yep.
My other son isn't there. He has an organization called PUSO. He's been in touch with the net.
Yep.
And I told Toyiwa and Cho he's going to get in touch with them.
Yep.
They too want to build a basketball court in Liberia.
Yeah.
There are 6 friends from kindergarten. One is from Puerto Rico. One is from France. One is from the Philippines. 2 are from the Philippines. And what they've committed to do is in each country, they're going to build a basketball court. So the court has already been built in the Philippines. And the next project is in France. And Toyiwa informed me that this court is going to take about $30,000, right, T?
35.
35,000, okay? I saw it being double parked outside, and I checked his car. His car was worth $85,000. So if he had just sell his car, we can get his court built. And you will still have $45,000 to buy another car. But the point I was trying to make to T is that these kids have already raised $100,000.
What?
So $30,000 for them is nothing. If we just get the youth involved with this organization, your son, your daughter, your kids, they gotta have a network and they can raise money faster than any of us can. $30,000 can be raised in 5 days by these kids. Let's give them a chance, and great ball players will go into the future, and our children will be great ball players' children. Amen.
Thank you very much.